Welcome back, everybody, to the OK Grognard Show. Today is Monday, September 26, 2022. It ain't 10 a.m., it's 11 a.m. I'm going to leave the placard up the way it is in beautiful Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. Had a late start today. I got tied up with a few other things. Couldn't be helped, but still got to do the show. So this is it. Anyway, what we're doing is talking about the Advanced Dungeons and Dragons First Edition Dungeon Master's Guide section on magic items. We've been working our way through the rods, staves, and wands, and we've got one chunk of wands left to do. Next week, we're still talking about doing the dice collection show, just showing off dice I've collected over time and what I have and what I use. Some specialty dice, some kind of cool dice. Not a lot of super old dice. I think my original set are long since gone, and there probably were nothing but rounded nubs of cheap plastic by the time I replaced them or lost them or got rid of them or whatever it was. In any event, I've got a bunch of other dice, and we'll be talking about them and showing them off next week and taking a break from the magic item sections. But what do we got on that? We've got wands. Yeah. Last section of wands. So we'll pull this out and we'll dive right in. Wand of metal and mineral detection is where we left off. This wand also has a 30-foot radius range, denoted as 3 inches in D&D terms back then, and pulses and points to the largest mass of metal within its effective area of operation. However, the wielder can concentrate on a specific metal or mineral type: gold, platinum, quartz, beryl, diamond, corundum, etc. If the specific type is within range, the wand will point to any and all places it is located, and the wand possessor will know the approximate quantity as well. Each operation requires 1 round. Each charge powers the wand for 1 full turn. That's 10 minutes in game time. The wand may the wand may be recharged. So you have permission. But it also can be. So there you go. Wand of magic missiles. Let's back up just for a second. I love things like the wand of metal detection to give information to players without steering them in a specific direction. However, often it can be the subtle form of stealing or steering, that is, because let's face it, if they've got a wand of metal detection and you want them to go somewhere, you put a pile of gold over there. And if they're searching for piles of gold, that's where they're going. So there are uh, there are ways of giving agency and ways of subtly railroading. It's not really railroading. They still have to decide if they want to go there, right? In any event, some games are completely free form, but I've always spoken about the idea of a sandbox and a railroad being two ends of a spectrum, and every game falling somewhere in between. Sometimes closer to sandbox and sometimes closer to railroad, but never completely one or the other, because there are more people involved and players will do things and they can hop the tracks. And also, no game is completely a sandbox, because ultimately, as a DM, you're deciding what the setting is, what you're running. If you say we're playing D&D, all right, there's a shared assumption probably that it's a medieval fantasy, Western European flavored game, and people that come to play agree on that. But you said you're running this game, so you decided first it was going to have those parameters. So somebody that comes in that game isn't going to say, well, I want to get an astronaut spacesuit and get in and find a rocket ship. Oh, we don't have any. Can I build one? you're taking away some agency, so we're not completely at sandbox. We're moving toward some form of railroad, not the extreme form. Anyway, there you go. Wand of Metal and Mineral Detection is a way of setting some expectations, but also taking away a touch of agency, really, in a subtle way. Wand of Magic Missiles. The missiles wand discharges magic missiles, which are similar to those of the first level magic user spell, Magic Missile. The device fires a magic missile, which causes 2 to 5 hit points of damage. It operates as a spell of the same name, always hitting its target when wielded by a magic user, otherwise requiring a hit die roll. So non-magic users can use this too. Each missile takes 3 seconds to discharge and costs 1 charge. A maximum of 2 may be expended in a round. The wand may be recharged. Pretty nice, not quite as effective as if you had a pile of magic missile scrolls, but the fact that non-magic users can use it is something. And each charge only does 1, and you can only do 2 of them in a single round, so not as effective as a higher level version of the spell coming straight from a magic user. Nevertheless, quite useful for a lot of things. And let's face it, having somebody who can pop a rival magic user while they're spellcasting and foiling their spell could be the difference between the party falling asleep and having their throats cut or living to fight another day when you're at low levels. So it's something, even in the hands of a non-magic user. Wand of Negation. This device operates to negate the spell or spell-like functions of rods, staves, wands, and other magical items. The individual with the negation wand points the device, and a pale gray beam shoots forth to touch the target, device, or individual, so a person or an object. This will totally negate any wand function and make any other spell or spell-like function from a device 75% likely to be negated, whether it is a low-level spell or even if it is an ultra-powerful spell. Operation of the wand requires but 1 segment of a round, so it's almost instantaneously. It can function but once per round, and each negation drains 1 charge. The wand cannot be recharged. And there's something we don't hear a lot about. Almost most of the devices we talked about that function on charges have been ones that can be recharged. So that's interesting. How fast this works is pretty important because of its ability to hit an individual and negate a spell even as it's being cast. So that's important too. Wand of Paralyzation. This wand shoots forth a thin ray of bluish color to a maximum of 60 feet, denoted as 6 inches. If the ray touches any creature, it must save versus wands or be rigidly immobile for from 5 to 20 rounds. That's up to 20 minutes. 2 turns. A save indicates the ray missed and there is no effect. Each operation takes 3 segments and costs 1 charge. The wand may operate once per round. It may be recharged. Note that as soon as the ray touches one creature, it stops. The wand can attack only 1 target per round. So it's not a lightning bolt that's going to sweep down a line and pop off a whole bunch of individuals, paralyzing them all. Wand of Polymorph. The polymorphing wand emits a green beam, a thin ray which darts forth to a maximum of 60 feet. If this beam touches any creature, it must make a saving throw versus wands, success indicates a miss, or be polymorphed, others, as the spell of the same name. The wand wielder may opt to form the victim into a snail, frog, insect, etc., as long as the result is a small and inoffensive creature. The possessor of the wand may elect to touch a creature with the device instead. When this is done, unwilling creatures must be hit. Somebody can, don't touch me. And they are also entitled to a saving throw, so to hit and save. That's unusual for a lot of these things. The recipient is surrounded by dancing motes of sparkling emerald light and then transforms into whatever creature shape the wand wielder has stated. This is the same magical effect as the polymorph (self) and (spell). Either function requires 3 segments. Each draws 1 charge. Only 1 function per round is possible. The wand may be recharged. So, interesting, the ability to take willing creatures and turn them into something small and inoffensive. Well, they mention a frog. They mention a snail, an insect. But frogs can be of decent size. So insects can fly. So why not a small bird, for instance? Certainly possible. And if you've got a friend who you want to be able to get up into a high tower through a window with bars on it, certainly you could send them up there as a hummingbird or something inoffensive, as they say in the spell. And then, of course, when it wears off, they're inside. Unlock the door, throw the bolt, let you all in. Let in the attacking group. I say attacking. It doesn't have to be a offensive situation. In any event, it's a very useful spell for that sort of thing, and certainly turning an enemy into a frog. But the double whammy of having to hit and them also getting a saving throw is a pretty big deal. So bear that in mind when using this wand as if it were weaponized, if you will. Wand of Secret Door and Trap Location. This is one of those that has been incredibly useful when I've played in or played with groups GMing, DMing games where we were short-handed regularly and nobody wanted to play a thief. And this is really handy. Or maybe you also didn't have a cleric with a find trap spell, so this is also handy. You didn't have any elves, and those secret doors were going unnoticed, and that's where all the treasure is. So you kind of want to be able to find all of these things to save lives and to get filthy rich. So the wand has an effective radius of 1.5 inches, that is 15 feet for secret door location, 30 feet for trap location. When the wand is energized, it will pulse and point to whichever thing it is to locate if a secret door / trap is within the location range. Note that it locates either one or the other, but not both during one operation. It requires 1 round to function and draws 1 charge. The wand may be recharged. Well, that's pretty self-explanatory. The devil's in the details on that one, right? Wand of Wonder. And this one's crazy. It always was crazy. I think back in the day when we were younger, this had a lot of kind of wild, fun, crazy, chaotic appeal. And I think as I got older, at least, and other people that I gamed with were also older people, this became less of an exciting thing to have to use. Let's talk about it. The Wand of Wonder is a strange and unpredictable device which will generate any number of strange effects randomly each time it is used. The usual effects are shown on the table below, but you may alter those for any or all of these wands in your campaign as you see fit, although it is recommended that you follow the pattern shown. The functions of the wand are 0 to 10%, slow creature pointed at for 1 turn. 11 to 18%, not a full 10 on this one. Deludes wielder for 1 round into believing the wand functions as indicated by a second die roll. 19 to 25, gust of wind, double force of spell, so a big gust of wind. 26 to 30, stinking cloud at 30-foot range. 31 to 33, heavy rain falls for 1 round in 60-foot radius of wand wielder. 34 to 36, summon rhino on 1 to 25 on a second roll. Elephant, 26 to 50 on a second roll. Or mouse, 51 to 100 on a second roll. 37 to 46, lightning bolt, 70 feet, half a foot wide, as per wand. What else we got here? Up. 47 to 49. Stream of 600 large butterflies. This was always the one that was a crack up. Pour forth and flutter around for 2 rounds, blinding everyone, even the wielder. 50 to 53. Enlarge target if in 60 feet of the wand, as per the spell. It doesn't say that here, but they mean that. 84 to 58, darkness in a 30-foot diameter hemisphere. They're always thinking somebody's standing on a flat surface, but what if you're on the edge of a cliff? Wouldn't it be nice to have? Anyway, hemisphere at 30-foot center distance from wand. 59 or 59 to 62, grass grows in an area of 160 square before wand, or grass existing there grows 10 times normal size. 63 to 65, vanish any non-living object of up to 1,000 pounds, mass, and up to 30 cubic feet in size. Object is ethereal, not really gone for good. Or 66 to 69, diminish wand wielder to 1/12 foot, 1 inch height. Yeah, they couldn't say it was an inch because we'd have thought 10 feet. Diminished to 10 feet tall. Makes no sense. 70 to 79. Fireball, as per the wand. 80 to 84, invisibility covers the wand wielder. 85 to 87, leaves grow from target if in 60 feet of wand. You turn someone into a walking tree, or turn a rock into a tree, or take a dead tree and make it look like it's living because there's leaves growing out of it. 80 to 90, 10 to 40 gems of 1 gold piece value shoot forth in a 30-foot long stream. Pop, 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 pop. Each causing 1 hit point of damage to any creature in the path. Roll 5d4 for the number of hits. Well, on the plus side, they can collect the gems afterwards if they're not dead. Dangerous. Up to 20 hit points. It's not a bad thing, I mean, as a weapon goes, but there's only a 3% chance it happens when you fire the wand. 91 to 97%. Shimmering colors dance and play over a 40 by 30 foot area in front of wand. Creatures therein blinded for 1 to 6 rounds. And finally, 98 to 100, flesh to stone or reverse if target is stone, if target is within 60 feet. So if you've got a stone statue, stone to flesh, but, and this is a conversation we've had on past shows about this spell, just because you turn something into flesh doesn't mean it has bones or a circulatory system. You're not turning a statue into... Now, of course, common understanding with a stone to flesh reverse of a flesh to stone spell, if somebody's been turned to stone, is it restores them. So the idea is probably that everything else within just comes along for the ride. The blood, the organs, the bones that weren't part of flesh that turned to stone are restored as well. So there's that idea. You certainly wouldn't want a Medusa turning one of your party members to stone and then restoring them and they're just a bag of meat. Oh no, we can't even talk to him. He just has no brain function, no circulatory system. The lungs don't work. They were turned to flesh as well. Anyway, there are some assumptions made with the naming of that spell, right? But that's all that a Wand of Wonder does, and that's a lot, and it's crazy, and it is random. And you can add other things in there. And when they say follow the form, they're saying some of these things are ridiculous and no big deal, so they can be a larger percentage of it. And then there's things that are a flat 10%, like a fireball as per wand, only 5% invisibility. So, use those kind of things as your guide. And the silly things, either replace them with sillier things or replace them with more handy things, understanding that if anything is inconsistent and random, it's not really going to be handy anyway. So what's the point? Anyway, the wand uses one charge per function. It may not be recharged. Where? Whoop, whoop, whoop. What's it say? Pardon me. Little tickle in the throat. The wand may not be recharged. Where applicable, saving throws should be made. Live show, folks. Thank you. Anyway, that's the end of the section, so those descriptions are done. As I said at the top of the show, we'll be looking at doing the dice show next week. So, thank you, everybody. Sorry we got a late start today. Once again, I appreciate everybody who can join me when they can join me, and we'll hopefully see people next week and on time. Monishing myself. So let's just say thanks to everybody and close her out. Let us not forget that the show streams live on Twitch each Monday at 10 a.m. when I get here. I rarely miss. And is then archived on YouTube. Follow, subscribe, do all of those good things with thumbs up and all of that stuff as well, and it'd be much appreciated. Throat's a little sore. I won't go through the whole list, but here are the Patreon supporters. Tom, Rick, Carlos, Heath, Dave, Shane. I appreciate you all. Thank you very much. This has been the OK Grognard Show from beautiful Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. Thank you once again, and bye-bye.